When one lie doesn't work, make up a car crash story. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I'm Raphael and I am here to review episode 10 of the Real Fake Car Accidents of Beverly Hills. And we start off right away with all the women getting ready for their trip over to Kyle's house in Palm Springs. And they're all packing and we start off with Lisa, right? And did y'all notice how Lisa was packing her stuff? I mean, like, she literally grabbed a pile of clothes, put them in her suitcase and just folded them like a sandwich. I'm like, I'm hoping that was just for this scene and you really took your time out to actually pack everything properly. Because if not, that was a real messy way of putting your stuff in a luggage like that. And then we get a glimpse of Dora and she's happy because she's finally gonna be able to wear these ball gowns and these dresses and, you know, all her logo outfits to the desert for some reason. And she just wants to get out and have a reason to get ready and have to get dressed for something, because obviously last week she didn't get any scenes, so this time she's like, I'm gonna be in this episode, right? I'm gonna be in this episode, right? Like, it's in my contract. I'm gonna be in at least one more episode, right? And then we head over to Sutton, and Sutton hasn't packed anything. She's just sitting in her room with her two cats, and her cats were so cute. I'm like, aw, I wonder if they give off racist vibes like she does too. I'm like, aw, what a shame. But she calls Kyle, and she's like, Kyle, I haven't packed anything. I mean, I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm gonna leave these four walls to go to your four walls, and I'm thinking, wait a minute. What four walls? Because are we talking about her walls down there, or are we talking about like the house legit that Kyle's at? Because I'm like, I don't know, Sutton, you need to make it more specific. Then we get the actress herself, Erica, and Erica is saying her goodbyes at this clubhouse. You would think that this clubhouse is an actual person with the way they're making everything seem and the tone and everything of it and the flashbacks. Like, yes, this is where me and the clubhouse first met, and this is where me and the clubhouse had our date, and this is where me and the clubhouse had sex for the very first time, and this is where the clubhouse proposed to me. And Erica's just like, yeah, I mean, a lot of people think that Tom gave me a penny and I didn't receive anything from him at all. I'm thinking, of course he didn't give you a penny probably. You probably have some money stored up somewhere that we don't even know, or you probably don't even know yourself. But you know, it must be a real life shocker and a big setback for Erica to have this huge lavish lifestyle day by day, and then slowly she's losing piece by piece. I mean, we obviously keep seeing episode by episode, she just keeps losing one thing after another, after another, after another. And you see how certain actions have certain consequences, maybe not at that specific time, but it eventually catches up with you. And then we get over to Kyle, and she's waiting at the house that she invited all the women to come stay at, and the house is beautiful. I mean, it's so spacious, it's very pretty, it's very nice to look outside. And she's calling Garcelle, and Garcelle's telling her, like, I'm not gonna be able to make it right away, but I'm gonna make it after I film The Real, you know, because she's a co-host on that show as well. So I'm like, okay, that's understandable. She's getting her money and everything outside of Bravo. And Kyle is just showing us the house, and I'm just gagged at this house. I'm like, damn, bitch, like, this looks like a luxury hotel. And she said it's a house. And then Lisa comes, and Lisa, I swear, Lisa will get excited at a funeral, because Lisa comes in and she's like, oh my God, like, the house is so beautiful. Ah! Like, I was just waiting for her to jump up into the sky and land in a split with pom-poms in the air or something. She's always so excited and she's always on 10. So Kyle shows her the room that she's staying at, which is right next to the entrance door. And Lisa's like, oh my God, this is so nice, it's so beautiful. And then Dora comes in next, and she's dressed like a ninja. And she's like, hey y'all, like, I'm here. You know, finally I'm here to film my scenes because I was excluded last week, but I'm gonna forgive everybody for that because I need my paycheck. Do y'all like my shoes? Yes, yes. And then we get Kathy, and Kathy comes in with this big ass candle that looks like a garbage can. I'm like, what is she holding in her hand? First of all, I did not know that people made candles that big. I mean, she literally came in with this huge jar, like, la 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 la. Oh, here you go. Here's a big ass candle. Like, it's gonna last you for 2 years. Like, what? I mean, she probably brought the candle that big so it could overpower the smell that Erica's lies was gonna give out later on in the episode. And then we have Sutton showing up, and Sutton shows up in style. I mean, she shows up in the new car that she brought a couple episodes ago, and the car is just so cute and so nice, and it has no roof and everything. And then Crystal shows up as well, and I'm thinking, oh Lord, here we go. Like, what's about to happen? What's about to go down? But no, nothing happened. Crystal lets us know, like, no, everything is fine. We squashed everything. I think everything is okay for the most part. She texted me, and for some reason, I didn't block her, and I just texted back, like, okay, I really don't like you, but I guess we could be besties for the show. But don't try me next time, and don't make fun of my outfit, okay? Oh wait, LOL, smiley face. But we'll see how long that lasts, because if I was Crystal, nope. I mean, something crossed the line way too many times for my comfort. So, Crystal, you're a better woman than I am, because absolutely not. And then Dora gets her driver to get all the groceries in the kitchen, and then they head over to the kitchen where Kyle's at, and Kyle, Lisa, Crystal, and Dora are discussing Tom and Erica's assets have been frozen because there's suspicious activity on where these $2 million went and what happened to them, because they belong to plane crash survivors and orphans. And I'm thinking, ooh, it's coming out, it's coming out. And I think I think that we deserve a snapshot of that scene with Dora in the middle and Lisa right next to her, and Crystal just almost breaking her fucking neck, like, let me read the message too, I want to read too. Like, they were just very invested in the whole story between Erica and Tom's scandal, and they're like, wow, like, what's going on here? And Dora's like, oh wait, here's my moment, I could make it about me. Okay guys, so I know how this feels like, because this has happened to PK and me. Yeah, it happened to me. I did it first. And I'm thinking, Doris, sit down. Just trying to make it about yourself. Like, okay, like don't say too much, because you might be the next one to be in Erica's position. So then they're like, oh my god, like what's gonna happen? Are we gonna question Erica? And I'm thinking, how come nobody's raising any red flags there? They're just like, oh, I wonder if it's true. I mean, I wonder what's going on, what's happening. And then we get Erica and her dog, and you know that Erica probably told production, like, wait, no, let's not film yet until my dog has a bowel movement. No, I want him to poop on camera so people could feel sorry for me. Don't you get it? It's part of my storyline here. Yeah, we're not filming yet. I just gave him like something to eat right now, so he should be shitting it out in like a couple. He's about to shit it out right now. Get the filming. Andy, hurry up. Get the cameras. You know Erica wanted that dog to poop around her, so they could be like, oh my god, the poor woman who never walked her dog. She doesn't know anything about animals. Oh my god, what will she do next? All the women are preparing lasagna, and we see Lisa and Kyle, and they're playing with their eggplants. And I'm like, ooh, so this is what y'all be doing with your husband. This is how you get a rich husband 101. And then we also get a glimpse of Crystal and Sutton, you know, kind of working side by side. And Sutton's like, oh, I'm gonna give you an elbow. And see, if I was Crystal, I would have just popped her right there in the face. I'm like, wait, what do you mean you're gonna give me an elbow? You're gonna hit me? Oh, you wanted to do the whole non-contact thing. Oh, I'm sorry. It's my fault. I'm sorry that your nose is bleeding now. I thought you were trying to attack me or something, so I had to prepare myself. That's why I took boxing lessons, but, you know, we could be friends now. So they're all getting ready and everything. And then, again, the queen herself comes out, and Erica, she makes her grand entrance. And every scene that she comes in to a group gathering is so dramatic. Like, we have to see the door open. We have to see one shoe hit the floor first. And then she's walking out, and she opens the door. Well, Lisa opens the door for her. And they just coddle her like a baby. They're like, I'm so proud of you. I'm like, proud of what? Like, trust me, I want to have the benefit of the doubt of Erica. Like, there's this much of my, you know, believe of, okay, maybe she's telling the truth. Like, it's this much, because I'm like, are you really telling the truth or are you not? But I feel like with this episode specifically, I think all of that just went out the window, because I'm like, okay, Erica, I kind of wanted to see it a little bit for you, but yeah, no, you definitely put your high heel shoe in your mouth this episode by talking way too much and making up these fake ass stories later on. So all the women are hugging her, and they're like, it's okay, it's gonna be fine. Come over here. Oh my god. Let's make out. And you know she has to hit us with one of her infamous one-liners and saying, it's not okay, and it's not gonna be okay for a very long time. So after all the women are done coddling Erica, they coddle her more in the living room, and they all sit down, and now Erica's trying to put this whole different spin on it. And I'm like, okay, so you keep adding more and more to the story, and you keep trying to paint out Tom to be this, you know, lunatic, basically. She's basically saying that, oh, he was deteriorating in front of me, and he wouldn't listen to me, and he was just becoming somebody else, and, you know, his mental health wasn't all the way there either, and he was just doing a bunch of, like, crazy mistakes and stuff. And I'm like, okay, so you were just speaking kindly of this man at the beginning of this season, and now all of a sudden he's like this whole other different person that you don't know, that he's becoming somebody else. Like, which one is it, Erica? Like, what's going on? And what kills me with the producers is that they continue to play that scene that, pardon me, Erica, pardon me, Erica, pardon me, Erica, pardon me, Erica. Like, oh my God, we get it. We get it. Like every single episode, we have probably seen that scene probably twice. Do we have any other scenes of Tom disrespecting Erica or talking to her crazy or whatever? Like every single scene. It must be in her contract. Like, okay, Erica, so in your contract, we're gonna have to replay the scene of him telling you, pardon me, Erica, every couple seconds, you know? So just be prepared for that every single episode. Like, damn, we get it. And she's also saying that she doesn't understand why people continue thinking that she's stealing money, that she's hiding money, that she's doing this, that, and the third. And I'm like, well, you were his wife. And they're trying to say that, oh, well, sometimes you really don't know what you're getting yourself into. Sometimes you don't know what you're signing up for. I mean, sometimes couples and in marriages, they don't really know about each other's businesses or each other's finances. And I'm like, really? I mean, what do y'all think about that? I mean, I would think that if you're marrying somebody, you will be honest with them completely. I mean, you're not just gonna sit there with somebody and not ask questions or, you know, do some type of research or whatever. Like, I don't buy it. I mean, I get it that they're all rich and everything, and maybe that's probably why you're like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna sign my life away, or I'm gonna sign my soul away. I'm just gonna get married with you regardless of whatever issues you have. It doesn't matter because all you see is money sign, but realistically, there's much more to that in a marriage. And Sutton tries to comfort her with the story of her dad and how he killed himself 2 days before Christmas, and that was heartbreaking to hear. And then that flashback that they didn't show last season or whenever they filmed it between Sutton and her mom, and how Sutton was just crying and saying like, don't you miss him? Not even a little bit. I just want you to miss him. And it was crazy to see that scene because I get what Sutton was going through and I get what she wanted her mom to feel. But like her mom said, that was a marriage between me and your dad. And whatever I feel for him, it's completely different from what you're supposed to feel. And I'm just like, oh, it was a cold answer, but I get it. It's completely valid. And Sutton is just letting us know that if she can get through it, then Erica can also get through the situation that she's going through now. And I agree, she can't get through it just inside a jail cell. Lisa eventually leaves the group to go change into a more glamour look. And then we get Kyle and Kathy in the kitchen, and Kathy is just, I don't know, I'm just kind of over Kathy and her theatrics. I feel like she's just being stupid on purpose now, and it's not funny. It was kind of entertaining, and I still like her for the show, but I just kind of wish that she stopped being stupid on purpose. You know, like, it's getting kind of old now. I was like, okay, can you show us something else? But maybe that really is her, and if it really is her, then okay. If not, then just cut it out and just be who you are, you know? She is cutting some bread that is extremely hard. I mean, she knocks them together and they sound like two rocks. Kyle just finds it to be the most hilarious thing on earth as Kathy is just banging them against each other. I mean, she lets out her rich white woman laugh that. Kathy, stop it. You would think that Kathy just did a whole stand-up comedy special the way Kyle was laughing. I mean, damn. Eventually, Kathy goes and tries to put her luggage up the stairs, and you just see her struggling like, you know, because she was being all bougie at the beginning when she first got to the house and says, there's no doorman here? I mean, I don't drive myself to places, and I don't know what this is like, so what do I do now? And Dora, of course, you know, Dora was so excited to get a couple scenes in, so she's like, fuck, this is my chance to be on TV. Let me go and help. So she goes over to Kathy, and she's like, I'll help you, sister. And then she grabs the luggage, and she's like, come on, let's go. We can, oh, it's Louis Vuitton too, even better. Come on, let's go, I'll help you. So she's helping her up the stairs, and then Lisa is showing off her nice glittery jumpsuit, which was actually cute. She looked really pretty in it. Back in the kitchen, Kyle is trying to finish up the lasagna, and she spills a couple spices on the floor. And then Kathy comes over, and this is what I'm talking about. She gets on the floor, and she starts sweeping it with a barbecue grill cleaner. What are we doing here, Kathy? I mean, Kathy cannot be that dumb. I mean, is she following in Paris Hilton's footsteps and trying to play up the whole blonde, dumb thing that she had going on? I mean, Kathy, it's not working. Like, come on, Kathy. We all know that you have some type of common sense, that you're not gonna get on the floor and start sweeping up the mess with a grill cleaner. Like, who does that? Unless you're really just out of touch and you just really don't know how to clean because you're that rich and you have everybody else to do that for you. But come on now, that is not how we sweep. And then we have Erica, and she comes in, and this is also another moment that needs to be on the Bravo Hall of Fame because she's like, wait, let me get a broom. I'm gonna start cleaning. And we get like a Cinderella version, but a much more expensive version of Cinderella. And she starts sweeping with her red bottoms on. And I'm like, well, this is interesting to see. Like, what, are you trying to, play up this whole woe is me character thing again? Finally, it's dinner time, and all the women start sitting outside around the table, and the lasagna actually looks good. Like, Kyle actually didn't fuck this up like the way she did the food a couple episodes ago at the very beginning of the season, because that food looked kind of gross, but this actually looks eatable. Kyle gets a message from her daughter and is like, oh, you need to step your Instagram game up because Drake follows Lisa Rinna and nobody follows you, so what's going on here? And then Lisa's like, yeah, Champagne Pappy follows me on Instagram. I'm like, now who the hell is Champagne Pappy? I'm like, why is she pronouncing it like that? Erica was quick to correct her with, it's Champagne Pappy. She said Champagne Pappy. I wonder if Drake watches The Housewives, or how does he know Lisa? I mean, does he watch her old stuff, or does he keep up with her now? Or is he possibly coming for Dorit's diamond next season? I mean, I say give Drake a diamond now. Like, let's get him together for next season because he could bring the fashions and he could probably bring drama. So Dorit, you need to step it up because Drake is coming for your spot. So then Kyle tells the group, oh, today's a specific night with the moon or something aligns and we need to get rid of all our toxic energy. So I'm surprised that all the women didn't just get up and it's like, okay, Erica, let's go. Let's pack your shit and we're throwing you out the house because, I mean, that's the toxic energy right there. And then they're like, okay, let's give the candle to Erica so she could wish on something because it's, we want to make her feel special. And Erica's like, well, let me blow and pretend and let me just wish for something amazing to happen. And in her confessional, she's like, well, I could use this, I could use that, I could use an exorcist, but I'm not confessing. And I'm like, we know you're not confessing, girl. We know you're not confessing to anything. So then as all the women are eating and drinking, they start talking about Tom again. And again, they continue putting on this thick narrative that Tom might have dementia, that he might have some issues with forgetting certain things and behaving very strange and weird and out of the ordinary. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, and Kathy is just feeding into it too. And I'm thinking, this whole storyline sounded a hot mess, especially when Erica started with the whole car accident thing. That's where she completely lost me. And I'm like, oh, Erica, I was trying a little bit of ounce of giving you some type of leadway and giving you the benefit of the doubt a little bit, like maybe just 1%. And yeah, you kind of just blew it here. And just like Sutton said, this sounded like a complete horror story, what she was explaining. I mean, she was saying that he flew off a cliff and he flew all the way down. He tumbled a little bit. He was trying out for Fast and the Furious, the next movie. He was just trying to audition and this just so happened to, happen. And it was just very unfortunate. And she just continued to make it worse and worse and worse. It sounded like the plot from I Know What You Did Last Summer, the horror movie. I mean, she was basically like, he was unconscious for 12 hours and I didn't know what to do. And then a man with a hook came chasing after me a year later, and it was scary. Oh, did I mention that Ghostface from the movie Scream? He also chased me and Tom as well. I had to drag Tom into a cave, and we had to, make fire with our hands and everything, and we had to eat fish for 2 days. It was just very, very terrible. I was wearing my red bottoms, and it was just very scary. His arms were cut off, his legs were cut off, his tongue was cut off. It was just very, very terrible. And I think he was also cheating on me. And what's funny is that out of all the women there in the group, they all seem to be buying this BS storyline that Erica is feeding them. But the only one who's not is Sutton. I feel like Sutton is the only one with a little bit of common sense. Surprisingly, Sutton is connecting 2 plus 2 and it's not equaling 4. And I feel like that's why she's probably going to get into it with Erica later on because she's not buying these lies. Who knows? Maybe Sutton has been around scammers all her life or something that she probably sees right through the BS. And again, I'm surprised that nobody else is calling this out. Like, so are we going to, fact check this or something? And Kathy's also like, oh yeah, I heard rumors too that he was cheating on you. Like, she couldn't wait to say something about that. And Erica's like, yeah, Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah, I definitely, yeah. And we also saw a couple months ago, right? Or was it a couple weeks ago where Erica was also posting these text messages and screenshots on her Instagram that he was cheating on her. So, she is just definitely trying to, bury him with everything that she's putting out there on him. And then Sutton gets up and she breaks the tension and she's like, well, I'm gonna go get pancake cake. So let's all go over there and stop talking about Erica, okay? Let's all go. So they get up and they all go to the kitchen to go get that. But, they make sure to tell Erica, like, it's gonna be okay. Everything is gonna be fine. And they give her a hug and everything, and we end the episode like that. But we get a mid-season trailer to the rest of the season. And just when I thought that the season was kind of like, okay, like, maybe it's kind of watering down. Nope, they said, no, no, no. We still got a lot of more shit and a lot more drags to come. I'm like, wow, the trailer looks very promising. I mean, it seems that this Erica storyline is not going anywhere. And we see Sutton also getting into it with Kyle, and we see Doric get into it with Garcelle, and I'm like, why? Like, I did not expect all of this. So we shall see how this plays out this entire season. But that's that, y'all. What did y'all think about this episode? Do y'all believe Erica's story, and are y'all putting the pieces together with her car crash story? I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know. It sounded like a horror movie script, and I'm just not buying it. And what are your opinions about the mid-season trailer? I mean, I wonder what sets off everybody. And then you see Erica tell Sutton, oh, don't you ever lie to me or I'm coming for you. Ooh, Sutton, I hope that mouth that you had on Crystal, you also have it for Erica. So we shall see how that plays out. But let me know what y'all thought about this episode, y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Bye, y'all. Mwah.